Hi, my name is Francisco and welcome to another video of the Marketing Research series. And this time I want to give you some recommendations on books for marketing research and also for statistics that I'm 100% sure will help you along the way. So the first recommendation that I have, which is a more general recommendation, so a book that covers literally every topic pretty much on marketing research, is Fundamentals of Marketing Research by Scott Smith and Gerald Album. And it's a book that was published by Sage. Now, as you can see, this is a quite thick book and a very important one because it literally covers everything. So it starts with the basics of what is marketing research, what are the main research designs, what are the main research methods. It discusses sampling, a little bit of qualitative research, experimentation. So if you are a bachelor's, a master's, or even a PhD student, I would definitely recommend Fundamentals of Marketing Research by Scott Smith and Gerald Album, published by Sage, because again, it's a publication that covers literally every topic. We'll give you an overview that will allow you to conduct research of pretty much any sort of nature. And also another really interesting thing about it is that the final chapters are all related to statistics. So you're also going to be able to cover a number of different statistical tests. So Fundamentals of Research by Scott Smith and Gerald Album, published by Sage. My second recommendation is Marketing Research and Applied Orientation by Naresh Malhotra. And this one is published by Pearson. And this is also a publication that will cover all of the essentials of marketing research, let's put it that way. This is actually the one that I use for the course that I teach at my university. And one of the main reasons is because this one here in specific is a global edition and there are numerous cases students really like. So most of the examples that I use for my class and the course that I teach, I take from this publication. So again, if you are a bachelor's, a master's, or a PhD student wanting to know the main fundamentals of research online, offline, qualitative, quantitative, I would definitely suggest you look or search in the library of your university, Marketing Research and Applied Orientation by Malhotra, published by Pearson. My third recommendation is How to Design and Report Experiments by Andy Field and Graham Ho, also publication by Sage. Now, Andy Field, if you've read a few articles on liveinnovation.org, you know that I'm a huge fan of Andy Field. Andy Field is a British psychologist and he's the author of, I think he's most known for his statistics books, which I'll show in a minute. But I love his style of writing because he's so funny and he's also someone really into music. So there are many examples related to music. He also plays the drums and had rock bands and stuff. And he has a fascination for cats, not sure why, but there's in this book the many drawings of cats and examples that are related with cats. But the main thing with Andy Field is his humor. And myself particularly, I think that humor is so important in education for you to get a message across. I think very often academics have an impression that if you use humor, then it takes a little bit of the depth of the idea that you try and convey. And for me, this is absolutely not correct. So if you're doing causal studies, if you're planning to do a laboratory or a field experiment or a quasi-experiment, make sure that you have a look at How to Design and Report Experiments by Andy Field and Graham Ho. Similar to the other ones, apart from the descriptions of how to conduct research and also how to report the research findings in experiments, they also tackle parametric statistical tests and also non-parametric statistical tests. So I'm 100% sure that you will enjoy this publication, especially because of the style of language. So compared to the previous two that I just showed you, this is way more accessible and it's much easier to read, and that you're also going to have a few laughs when you're reading it. So make sure you look for How to Design and Report Experiments by Andy Field and Graham Ho. You will not regret. The fourth recommendation that I have for you is literally a Bible in statistics in my point of view. It's called Discovering Statistics. This version here using IBM SPSS statistics is a publication by Andy Field. As I mentioned, I'm a huge fan of Andy Field, and this is such a good publication. This is here that I have is the 5th edition. You can find online previous editions that are not too expensive or used versions. But honestly, regardless of what course you're studying, if you are going to use statistics, my personal opinion, don't look for any other publication. Just look for Discovering Statistics by Andy Field, and I'm sure that you're not going to regret. As I mentioned, he's a great guy that is really into music, so there are lots of examples related with music, and also many different examples with cats. And his style of writing is just so awesome. There's so many jokes in the book, and it really helps, you know, when you're trying to learn, especially something that can be really dry like statistics. So I would definitely recommend. Another thing with this publication is there are different versions. So for example, I have also the one here for SAS, so discovery statistics using SAS, because the main difference between these is that when Andy Field is showing the examples, he shows exactly how to perform that on the software. So myself, for all the things that I do, SPSS covers all of the main tests that I need, so I don't have to use any of the other publications. But you will find this version not only for SAS, as I just showed you, but also for R and others, I think. I could not recommend more. Discovering Statistics using IBM SPSS by Andy Field, published by Sage. And my final suggestion is also by Andy Field, called An Adventure in Statistics, The Reality Enigma by Andy Field. And this is a really interesting one because this is kind of like a fiction that he wrote. It's a story of a main character called Zach, and he has a rock band called The Reality Enigma. And he meets a girl called Alice. And from then on, through the relationship between those two, you're going to discover a lot of statistics along the way. So again, if you think that all the other publications are dry and boring, then you have to look for An Adventure in Statistics, The Reality Enigma by Andy Field. So there you go. Those are my 5 main recommendations of books in case you're a marketing research student or a student of any management related course that has to conduct research. I'm sure that these publications will help you, first of all, with the main fundamentals of research, and the last ones that I showed you with the main essentials of statistics. And with the combination of these 2 types of books, I'm sure that you're going to be able to develop great successful projects in any context that you're interested in. And to finish up, my music recommendation this time is a song called Transatlantique, I hope that I'm pronouncing this correctly, by an artist called Beirut, and it's an awesome song, Transatlantique. I hope I'm saying this correct. So my friend, I wish you an amazing day, all the absolute best, take care, and bye-bye.